We have previously discussed how to enter data onto forms. We will now review how to save forms so that they can be reopened and completed, how to enter a form into the record, and how to prevent information from not being lost from improperly closing forms. An open form should never be closed by choosing the X in the top right of the form. Any information entered into the form will not be saved. The exception being if you have opened a form in error, then closing it out will be fine. At the bottom of every form are the processing options. Start another form after processing and start another form after processing with current data is not used or checked. Process form is chosen when the form is completed in its entirety and ready to be entered into the record. Once the user chooses process form, the form is entered, can no longer be edited, and only be viewed as a PDF document. Preview form allows the user to see how the information entered on the form will look on the final document. Run calculations is not operational and will not be used. Save form data simply allows the user to save information on the form to return to at a later date. This is not a function that is used often and is not the process for submitting the form for entry into the record. By choosing this option, the user can go back to the incomplete form that has not yet been processed. To return to a saved form, the user accesses the Saved Sessions icon on the main page. Let's recap. Closing out a form using the X at the top right of the window will close the form and any data entered will be lost. At the bottom of every form, the option to start another form after processing and start another form after processing with current data are not operational and not checked. Process form enters the form into the record. Once a form is processed, the user cannot go back and change any of the information entered. Preview form allows the user to preview what the form will look like with the information entered. Run calculations is not operational. Save form data allows the user to save the form to return to at another time. In this three-part series on the Introduction to Electronic Healthcare Records, we have covered the security policy and practice, how to set up for first-time access, and the basic navigation of the system to include elements common to every form in the system. So let's recap. Do follow the Wall Residence's HIPAA security policy and business agreement. Don't share passwords or login information with anyone. Do complete documentation for services that you deliver. Don't log in as another provider or a backup worker to complete documentation for services he or she delivers. Do set up your new password and signature the first time you log in. Don't change your name in the user information section. This affects all forms. Do use the back option in Laris. Don't use the back button in your browser. Do access Laris by typing in larisonline.com in the address bar. Don't access Laris by typing in larisonline.com in the search bar. Do use process form to enter the form into the record. You do not use save to enter the form into the record. Do save form data if you must log out before completing the form. Do not use close or X out of the form unless you are prepared to lose any information entered into the form. Do contact the operations coordinator if you find errors, and don't hesitate to ask questions. This concludes our 3-part video training series on the Introduction to Healthcare Records. Please take a few moments to complete the quiz on the following page.